Hi, my name is Alexey Girin. I'm founder of Starta Ventures. Starta is a global VC company which includes early stage investment fund, accelerator in New York, and co-working space in New York. Co-working space, which is a soft landing space for companies expanding from Europe to US. It seems that the topic of accelerators is relevant, and thank you for coming here, guys, to listen to us. And what is more important, it's our panelists. Panelists that represent the real nutrition chain for startups and for their life and ecosystem that is really relevant to Russian startups here in the audience. Why I'm thinking so? Because we as a Starta accept startups from Startup Sauna, adopt them to US, and after that they are more attractive for top-tier accelerators like 500 startups. As an example, we accepted a couple startups from Startup Sauna, and some of our graduates went to top-tier accelerator, for example, 500 startups. Marvin, maybe you remember guys from Belarus, it's Friendly Data. Yeah, it was the first and only investment in Belarus company for 500 startups. Okay. So, unfortunately, I think we have only 30 minutes, and let's start. Maybe, guys, you introduce yourself. Marvin, in Russian tradition, ladies first.
Oh, ladies first, yes.
Thank you. I'm Anni from Startup Sauna. I work as a Chief Networking Officer, so I am responsible for our network, meaning coaches, alumni, partners, and so on. What Startup Sauna is, we're early stage accelerator for very tech-heavy teams, and actually Russia is very close to our heart since you have great tech over here. So we're based in Helsinki. We organize the program twice a year. It's 7 weeks, so pretty intensive stint. We don't invest in the company, so we're a bit different to many other players in that sense. We don't focus on any specific verticals, but we love interesting technology, as I said. And we take teams in when they are around ±6 months from the product launch.
Thank you, Annie. Who's next? Okay, Wilson.
Okay, Wilson Ging from Startup Bootcamp. I'm head of scouting, so I'm responsible for looking for startups and finding the best startups for our programs. We actually have 21 programs globally. So we have programs in US, we have programs in Europe, Asia, Africa, and even in Australia. So we actually are everywhere. And we focus in different industries because we try to see what is the industry that we should focus in each area, in each country, and then we try to collaborate with the partners in the network there to provide the startups the right contacts, the right knowledge, and the right timing for them to grow.
Thank you, Wilson. Yeah.
Hello, Yann Gozlan from Creative Valley. So we are based in Paris. We have an operating acceleration program in fashion tech. So if you have a fashion tech program, please come to do it in Paris. If you have a health tech program, please again come to Paris. And next year, we want to start an artificial intelligence on cybersecurity in Paris and I hope Moscow. That's our topics. And we are here also for you. So please take time to ask your question so that we can try to answer for what you're looking for. What should I say more? We mainly work with all the best IT schools in France, and we have strong partnership with accelerator around the world, working a lot at the moment with Korea. We have a lot of Korean startup with Korean-speaking people in our team. We plan to have Russian-speaking people in our team to welcome you all.
Okay, thank you. And finally, Marvin.
Hi, my name is Marvin. I'm a partner of 500 Startups. 500 Startups is an early stage venture capital fund focusing on pre-seed and seed stage. And we're probably better known for accelerator programs. So I run the accelerator program in San Francisco. I've done 9 batches now. I've had about 336 companies go through my program. Just to give some general stats, we do 3 programs a year. Each program we get about 2,000 to 2,500 applications, and we take between 30 to 40 companies. So it's fairly competitive, and we work with our companies in helping them figure out customer acquisition.
Okay, thank you guys for introducing yourself. So let's start, and I'll ask you to be short and simple. Yeah, and my first question is, how to choose the right accelerator, and what are the main criteria? Volume of investments, mentors, networking, corporate partners, success stories, anything else? So who will be the first?
Ladies?
Okay.
First one always. I think first, you as a startup and as a founder, you need to define that. What is it that you actually need at the moment? What are your biggest problems? Where are the biggest bottlenecks? And after that, you can define if you need an accelerator, when would be the right time for you, and which would be the right accelerator, because all the accelerators are a bit different. Not all can cure your problems. And you should talk to the alumni. We're the ones who give the marketing talk about the program, how great it is. But the alumni are the ones that have actually gone through the program. So you should reach out to, for example, Russian alumni and ask how they found the program.
Okay, next. Wilson?
Yeah, basically just do your homework, just see exactly who you are targeting. Are you a B2C, B2B solution? Do you want to stay here? Do you want to go global? If you want to stay here, there is no point of approaching a global accelerator. See who are your potential customers. So, because obviously acceleration is about connecting startups with potential customers and potential partners. So see who are the accelerators that have the potential partners and customers that you want. And then focus on those. It's really important, the alumni, because then they can give you feedback and you can understand how they did it as well. Yeah.
Thank you. Marvin?
Yeah, so a lot of it is, I'm going to be a little bit repetitive, but a lot of it is really understanding what stage you're at, really understanding what your biggest problem is, and so based on sort of the expertise of the program. And so, for example, our program is customer acquisition. So if you are a pre-launch product, we're not going to be very helpful or useful for you, right? If you are focusing on a local market and you're not focusing on global market, you're not thinking about fundraising, we're probably not a great program for you. So really understanding sort of like where and sort of like, what stage you're in. In some cases, you might be better off focusing on, say, for example, you're in fashion tech, like, I think we can be helpful, but we're a generalist program versus, say, going to a very specific sort of fashion tech, focused program. That might be better for you.
I think it's my turn. Yes, I think the big issue about accelerator program is just one thing, is winning time. Because most of the time when you start your startup, you don't have so much money after you have the first round, which is the most difficult. And you have to achieve as much as possible in a short time. So I hope what we do all here is just making win time. So win time for what? Get money, So try to be an accelerator which is well linked with investor. As said, ask the alumni. That's the best way to know how it's working in. After, it's tough time because the acceleration program is short, 3 months, 6 months, so you will work a lot. So try to find one with a good atmosphere where you think you can achieve to be for the 3 or 6 months on really 100% of your energy, of your time will be on work. For example, at Creative Valley, we have spaces to sleep because we have a lot of people. They have no time to go home because they have to work a lot. That's true. So that's a second important point for me. And after, I would say, don't worry so much because when you really have a good product, when you really want to achieve something, most of the time you are going somewhere. You not always know where, but you are going somewhere. I think I see around 1,000 team, me on my team every year. And all the good teams, they achieve something. So I think also what is very great now, it wasn't so 10 years ago, is that you have hundreds of accelerators. So you can start at one point. On the, for example, Sona is very good where you just finish your studies, for example. So it's a very good starting point. And from there, you will learn a lot and be able to go to the next point, to the next accelerator, and to visit another spaces. Because now, if you're in the tech field, you have to become global. We all say that all day long. That's true. And to do so, you have to have a quick view of what's happening around the world, and after to find the good places. I would say, honestly, Paris is a very good place at the moment because we are becoming the place in continental Europe and in the EU with the most money invested. And we just started the biggest startup campus in the world called Station F. And we have every support on the same place. We have French public support. We can help a startup to get the visa. That's quite useful. We have the investors. We have people from all main players like Facebook, Vente Privée, Amazon on the same place. So I think you have to look at this hub that we are building around the world. I hope that's useful.
Yeah, and promoting France, you forgot about good wine, food, and nice nature.
Yeah, and that's the second thing. You can come in couple to France. That works well.
Okay, thank you guys. And my next question, what kind of startups benefit particularly from your accelerator? So let's break the tradition. Marvin.
So we are mainly focused on software startups. And what we look for as well too, because we're a little bit more of a later stage, just to give some numbers, probably anywhere between every batch, between 15 to 25% of my startups have actually been through some other programs. So just to give you an understanding of the stage. And so most of my companies have a working product already, and it balances between half business to business, half business to consumer. But for example, like majority of them have either good traction to begin with, working product. And so what we do is we help sort of like, help them with figuring out their customer acquisition. One of the things that we're very well known for, I have 10 full-time, part-time people on staff who are just online marketing and B2B sales experts that work with our companies to help them sort of like accelerate their customer acquisition.
Thank you, Marvin. Wilson.
Yeah, I think it's basically customer acquisition if you want, because we, as you said, is the same. We are looking for startups that already have their product running, and what they need help to acquire their customers. And it's basically what we have. We have a really powerful network that can take you everywhere. You used to say that we save 2 years of your life if you give us 3 months. So that's what we do. So if you want to make business, but you already have a product, please come.
Thank you, Wilson. Annie?
So yeah, we have found out that we help most of the teams that are just around the product launch, as said. Teams that are very tech-oriented. In some cases, all the founders come from tech background, and we help them with the business side. We think that it's easier to teach business than teach technology. We have actually all the most prominent serial entrepreneurs, VCs and angels angel investors of Finland coming and helping out the teams with their experience, telling that how they failed, how they succeeded, and making the path easier for the next generation of the founders, so they don't need to make the same mistakes. Of course, the good network all around the Europe and Nordics. So, for example, just last week we were in London and Berlin with the Spring Batch, meeting investors there. So we help the teams kind of to get ready for the seed round, validating the product market fit and getting the metrics that pretty that actually investors are ready to give them money.
Okay, thank you, Jan.
Yes, I would say what we can offer is sure access to France and European market, but more important, we will help you to complete your team, because most of the startup I see, they are, most of the team are looking almost the same. So if you come to us, we will try to find the good people to complete your team. If you are good for IT, you need perhaps people for marketing or for design or for a future CFO. So working on the team itself is very important for us. And after, we have a very strong peer-to-peer approach, that we will ask you to help the other startup and the other startup to help you. And so that's built, and that's our chance in France, to have a very strong community of startups who have the habit to help each other and to get the good information, to share the good information, to go quickly to the good investors. And that's, I think it's quite interesting. Secondly, and that's, I think what I want to develop, I want to have a focus on deals where will interest Russian investors, for example, like Renacap, that we think is very good sample of expertise in Russia, on French investor to invest together in company to help them to the different markets. We have a similar approach in Asia, where it's very difficult to get in, and where it's very interesting to have in your team people from Asia, and in your investor people from Asia. So I think that's what we could offer on good food, good wine, that's true.
Okay, thank you. So, guys, we all trying to cooperate, but also we compete for the best startups. And so, my next question, I'll say it's not exactly a question. I would like you to pitch your programs for the best startups, like they pitch. So, for 1 minute. What they benefit from your program? So it's raising money or collaboration with corporations. So I don't know. So Marvin, your pitch, 1 minute pitch.
My 1 minute pitch. Okay. We've been around for 6 years now, have run 22 programs, have a lot of very, very good alumni like TalkDesk, many of our companies you've probably heard of, hopefully. Focus on customer acquisition, storytelling, fundraising. 85% of my companies raise some amount of money, between $500,000 to $3 million every batch. What else do we say? And we're based in Silicon Valley, which is the center of everything tech.
Okay, who's next?
Okay, Startup Bootcamp, I will say we have 21 accelerator programs around the world. Which means that it's really easy for us to connect you from Europe to US to Asia to Australia. So, for example, if we get inside of the FinTech program in Amsterdam, easily to get contacts in US, easy to get contacts in other places of the world. So this is our advantage. Obviously, you can look for our stats as well. 89% of the startups, they're still active as well. And I would say that everyone that finish our program is really happy to speak with you as well. Yeah.
Okay. Next speech.
I don't have any speech. I would say, first, what you could do with us is to achieve your dream team, and I think that's the most valuable asset, is people that will help you to go to success and that you are happy to see every morning. And I think it's a long way to become a successful entrepreneur. And very often you don't make it right the first time, the second time, the third time. So you have to to see that as a long-term goal. Sometimes you're lucky and it's quickly successful, sometimes not. And that I hope you can learn with us is to learn how to be strong enough to go through this path and to be, at the end, be successful. And for that, you need to be happy with yourself and the team that you are the leader from. And I hope we will help you for that. We have a lot of successful startups. I don't know really why, but they are with us.
Thank you. Annie.
So Startup Sauna is Europe's leading zero equity accelerator for early stage tech teams. Which I think is pretty great is that we don't take equity. So we leave your cap table clean for future investors to give them, give their money to you. And the program is completely free. We provide you free accommodation during the program. So for a startup, it's a pretty much perfect deal. Also, the program is short and intensive, so it's only 7 weeks. We don't want to take too much of your precious time. You actually need to be only 5 weeks in Helsinki. So we bring as much of learnings in shorter period of time compared to many other programs. We're also a community effort, which means that we have the best and the brightest of Finland and the Nordics helping you guys out, such as Supercell and Rovio. And these guys come pro bono to help these startups out because they just want to bring the whole startup community forward. We have also our demo day at Slush, the conference. So we are kind of shortcut to there to pitch your product on the stage of Slush in front of all the most prominent VCs of the world.
Okay, thank you, Annie. And thank you all guys for your pictures. My next question is, so in my opinion, networking is a secret sauce of any program. And but what does it mean? So to be in the right place with the right people in the right time or something else? So what is your opinion?
I agree. At the right time with the right people with the right attitude. And I think it's what you have to work on. And we speak a lot about serendipity or other, and that's a big part of it. I think you have to find the way to be at the good moment, in the good situation. And that's true that for that, you need to go to the good hubs, and as you said, you at one time, you need to find the right people. At the moment, I don't think it's so difficult anymore to find some cash. What is more important is if you find some investor to find the good ones, the ones you think for having them and to see them for the next 10 years would be a good idea. That's a very important point. And I think it's also interesting to know who are your clients and how to get the best access to your clients. So I think a very, very important way to make the right decision is to see in which country or where are your main clients and how can you get the quicker access to them.
Okay, thank you. Who's next?
Yeah, accelerator programs kind of like bring you quick access to a very, very, very vast network of mentors, investors, and coaches, and alumni companies, and so on, which is pretty amazing. In this case, I always also say that remember to also take your responsibility in this case. So think who are the people that you need to meet. You can't just assume that the right people, for example, here come to you. You need to have a plan to whom should you talk to. Who are the guys or girls who could help you? Are you looking for investors or input from other founders, or what are you looking for? So you need to also make your background work properly.
Yeah, again, it's obviously it's the source of accelerated networking, but you have to do your homework, and you have to know who is going to be able to help you, or who are you interested to meet. And special because then, even if it's a VC, even if it's a mentor, even if it's an accelerator, we used to say that meet them, see if you can have a dinner with them, a lunch with them. If you can do it, then it's a proper person to take business further. Because if not a match, it's not going to work. If it doesn't work in that moment, it's not going to work in the future.
Okay, thank you, Marvin.
Yeah, last of all, I think in regards to networking is ultimately about long-term relationships. And so you have to sort of think anybody you actually meet of just like how can you actually try to add value or at least be interesting to begin with and not just pitch what you have, because things change all the time. You never know. It might not make sense to do business at this point in time, so don't push it. You never know how things will change later on, where it might make more sense to do business later on. So really think about it as more of a long-term relationship and not just sort of just pitch and try to push and take, and you should think about giving, not taking. And maybe that's just a Silicon Valley sort of like mindset, but just like these relationships will last a long time. And so really think about this from a long-term perspective.
Okay, thank you. And I think we have time only for one question. So, and this question is, so some kind of advice. What advice you can give to startups who tries to understand if his idea raised interest of you as VC or accelerator, or it's just investors being nice. Every time everybody say, oh, it's awesome, so how to understand?
I'll say if people ask questions, if you get engage them with what you are saying and what you want, it's a good sign. If people just say, stay there, listen to you, and don't really interact with you, is not really a good sign. I would say if people say just, oh, send me your presentation, your deck to my mail after, I would say that's not a good sign as well. So even if I do it as well, but I think the secret is the interaction. If you see that there is interaction, it's because there is interest. And if there is interest, you can build longer relationships and you can take it from there.
Thank you.
Yeah, definitely. You can see from a person if they are interested or not. If you get someone super excited, you can see it from their eyes and from their way of talking to you and leaning towards you. Startup Sauna is from Finland, and we're pretty straightforward people, so we're not afraid of saying what we actually think. So we usually are pretty honest. Yeah.
I would say, first, believe in yourself. You can make a wonderful company with an accelerator, without an accelerator. I think the main idea is if you have no interactions, you just need to meet someone else and try again. But if you have the good project, you believe in yourselves, you have the good team, you will find ways to go further.
Okay, thank you. Marvin.
I don't know what else to add to this. I would say the most important thing, talk to customers, get customers. Doesn't really matter whether you get investments or not. Most investors are not very good, so you're better off without investors in most cases.
So, Wilson, you want to add something?
No, I just want to say for all the startups, especially the Russian startups that want to try to understand more or less how to get inside of the program, we had a Russian startup that just got inside of our program, and they actually published an article in vc.ru today or yesterday. So Dolphin, the name of the startup, Dolphin Business Blockchain Intelligence. And they wrote how they did it, how was the contact, how was everything. So it's quite maybe a nice article for Russian startups to have a look and see.
Okay, so it seems that I'm finished. So thank you for good discussion. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.